If you've been struggling with getting organized for online classes and you are self-proclaimed a disorganized hot mess, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to be covering how to get organized for good, and it's nothing that anyone is teaching on YouTube, because organization is so much deeper than just getting planners and getting folders and getting binders. I guarantee that you've said to yourself, if I could just get organized, I would finally stop procrastinating, be more motivated, get things done, and earn better grades in my classes. You're not wrong. The keys to getting organized is on making decisions about what you're gonna do, when you're gonna do it, and how you're gonna do it. When all three of those questions are answered, you're no longer gonna be confused, you're no longer gonna be overwhelmed, and you are definitely gonna feel more motivated to get things done. And it's gonna help you to feel not just organized on the outside, meaning having a clean desk, but you're gonna feel a lot more peace, a lot more grounded, a lot more centered internally as well. Hey, I'm Clarissa, a mindset and study strategy coach for busy working college students who want to earn A's by creating study routines they stick to so that they can have study-free weekends and a life alongside college. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit against the grain here today, and I'm not going to talk about a specific app that is going to suddenly make you completely organized. I am going to be using an app to demonstrate the philosophy and the steps that I want you to take to get organized, just so that you have a visual representation. But trust me when I say this, Trello is not going to save your organizational life. It's just a tool, just like a planner is a tool, just like Google Documents or Google Calendar is a tool, just like the iCal is a tool. It doesn't really matter what you use. What is more important is the planning process, the thought process that you use behind organization. And the reason why this is important to understand is because organization isn't a physical process that you take. It's not about buying folders. It's not about buying a planner. It's not about using a particular to-do list app or productivity app. That's not what's gonna make you more organized as a student and help you to make sure that you're getting the things that you need to get done in order to achieve the grades it is that you want for this semester. Organization begins in your mind. It's all about how you're thinking through the things that you need to do, and it's all about creating a system in your mind first that you take yourself through to know where things are that you're gonna need to succeed, how you're going to use them, and when you're going to use them. So what I'm gonna walk you through right now are the questions that I teach my students to ask themselves to get organized every single week. And none of these questions have anything to do with the type of app that you use or whether or not you should buy color-coded folders, or if Trello's the best app, or if Google Cal's the best app, or if you should use a paper organization system or a digital organization system. That's not what's gonna make the difference. You answering these questions is gonna make the biggest difference. So let's get into them. So the first question that you need to ask yourself is, what is everything that I'm going to need for this semester in order to do well? And what I'm talking about when I say what is everything is, where is the information that I need as a student to know what's expected of me? And for the most part, that's gonna be your syllabus. So I don't care if you store your syllabus in a binder, if you store it in a folder, if you prefer to just log on to Canvas or Blackboard every single time to look it up. I just need you to know where you're going to find the information and what that information specifically is. So the first question that you need to ask yourself is, what information do I need as a student in order to do well, and where am I going to store that information so that I know when I have a question about office hours, when I have a question about what's required of me on an assignment, when I have a question about what's going to be covered on the exam, I know exactly where I need to go in order to find that information. That's the first piece of organization. The second question that you need to be asking yourself on a monthly, a weekly, and even on a daily basis is, What am I going to need to do as a student in order to make sure that I am making progress towards my grade goals? So what are the assignments that are coming up this month? What are the projects that are coming up this month? What are the exams that are coming up this month? What are the things in my life that are coming up this month? This is you taking inventory of how busy your month is going to be, of all of the places that you need to show up, of all of the places that are going to require your time, attention, and energy. You want to make sure that you have a place where all of that is listed out for you and you are hyper aware of how you need to show up this month and what you're gonna need to do in order to achieve your grade goals. The next question that you need to be asking yourself on a weekly and daily basis is, when am I going to do this thing? So you have your list of everything that you need to do for the month, for the week, or for the day. You have your list of all of the places that you need to physically be, right? Where your time is going, where you're gonna show up, when it comes to your lecture, when you need to show up for work, when you need to show up for your kid's appointment. All of that is listed somewhere for you. The next thing that you need to make a decision on is, of the things that need to get done, right, incrementally, in order for me to be on track to hit whatever grade goal it is that you have for the semester, when am I going to decide that I am doing this thing? So this is you looking at whatever calendar system, whatever planning system of choice it is that you have, and making a decision. On Monday at 10 a.m., I'm gonna take 60 minutes to outline this paper. Or on Tuesday at 2 p.m., I'm taking 3 hours to read and write notes for chapter 7 in my biology class. You're making a decision ahead of time when you're going to sit down and do the things that you know are going to help you to achieve whatever grade goals it is that you have for this semester. The final question that you want to ask yourself to have an organization system that supports you the entire semester and that tells you where you need to be, what you need to do, and how you're going to do it is, how am I going to get this done? This is thinking through any obstacles. This is thinking through any information that you're going to need. This is thinking through any steps that you're going to need to take in order for this project, this studying session, this paper, this homework assignment to be considered complete. When you start thinking through what it's going to require of you, how you're going to need to show up to get it done, what you're going to need to get it done, this allows you to plan for obstacles, plan for chaos ahead of time, which is going to help you to be prepared to show up when you need to show up, and you're not going to be wasting time or feeling confused or overwhelmed about what you need to do because you already have thought that through ahead of time. This also gives you margin and leeway in your life in case things come up, because they will. And if you start to plan ahead for these obstacles and you start to really think about, how am I going to get this done? What does it look like to get this done? What is it going to require of me? What am I going to need? When you start asking yourself those questions, this is how you start to feel like you're in control of your life as you're going through the semester. You start to feel like you're on top of things. You start to feel like you're on track. And even when things happen in your life, because they will, you're still going to be on track because you planned for all of those things. Now, if you want to see how I set this system up inside of Trello, and again, the only reason why I'm using Trello is because it's a great visual representation of what it looks like to walk yourself through this process on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis, then keep watching the video because I'm going to take you through a behind the scenes look of how to set this up in Trello. So this is your Trello study plan template tutorial. So underneath this video, you will find the actual blank template that you can copy and paste and use for your semester. This is one that I've already set up, and I'm just going to walk you through how this is meant to be used. So If you haven't watched the Trello basic videos on how Trello works, I recommend that you watch those videos first, just so that you understand the terminology that I am going to be using as I'm walking you through this Trello board. So basically we have all of these lists. The first list that I'm going to walk you through is the general class info. So this is where you are going to put all of the general class information for each and every single one of your classes this semester. I have only put in one class for the purposes of this recording, but obviously if you have 4 classes, you would have 4 different cards. Maybe it's philosophy, biology, chemistry, math 1010, whatever it is, would go under this list here. And what you're putting in here is just your professor's information, the method that they prefer to be contacted by. And again, you can find that in the syllabus. And if you don't know how to locate that, then watch the syllabus week lesson inside of study school. Office hours are going to be listed here. And when your class meets, you can also put your grading rubric here, and then anything else that you want to remember about this class. So this gives you like a really quick overview of everything that you need to know to do well in this class. And then you can attach your syllabus for easy reference inside of here by just going to the attachment tab. And that's what I've done here for this philosophy class. So that's what this first list is all about. The next list is the today list. So this is where you're going to dump in anything that you're going to be working on that particular day. And I'm going to show you what the workflow for this board will look like at the end. But all of your top 3 tasks for the day will go here under today. This week is for everything that you're planning on working on this particular week. And again, I'll show you the flow of how you're meant to use the board at the end. This next list is for all of your monthly course assignment lists. So if you watch the study school productivity video, you know that I always recommend that at the beginning of the month, you brain dump everything that you're going to have to do that month, all of the assignments, all of the readings, everything that's going to need to be done for the next 4 weeks. And if you join us on our monthly planning calls, then you'll be able to set this up with us inside of Trello or whatever planning system it is that you prefer to use, whether it's the college productivity kit or some other form of a planner. But basically the card under this list is going to contain the class, the month that you're working on, and then what needs to be done every single week for that class. So for example, the first week of March, we are going to be covering pages 1 through 46 inside of the FOL reading. And then I also need to complete assignments 2.01 through 2.04 in order to prepare for the quiz that we have weekly inside of this class. Week 2, I need to make sure that I read and take notes for pages 46 to 66 because this is what we're going to be covering in lecture that week. Same thing, 66 through 74. We're going to cover this, so I want to make sure that I keep up with my notes. And then I also need to complete these practice assignments to make sure that I'm prepared for the quiz. So I would basically just fill out week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, however many weeks there are in the month would go under this. And then again, of course, your next class would go here and you can just copy this over. And again, I show you how to do that in the Trello basics video, but you would have philosophy, biology, chemistry, however many classes, and everything that you need to do for each of those classes would go under this monthly course assignment list. Exams are for you to put in all of your exams for the semester so that it's all in one place. I would do this at the beginning of the semester or as soon as you are able. Same thing with projects and assignments. So any projects, assignments, papers that you have coming up for this class during this, semester, those would all go under here. And basically inside of this card, I've put the rubric for this term paper, my checklist on how I plan to go, actually complete this assignment, everything that I'm going to need to do. And we show you how to do that with all the templates inside of study school. So you would literally just type them in here to have that checklist for yourself if you were writing a paper. For the exam, I did the same thing. I used the study school 5 to 7 day study plan, and I basically wrote out everything that I'm going to need to do in order to make sure that I'm prepared for this exam on March 23rd. And all of that is listed for me here. And then this last list is just whenever I'm done with everything, I move it over to the complete list. So let me walk you through how I would use this on a daily and weekly and monthly basis. So at the beginning of the month, the first thing that I would do is I would come over to my general class info. I would open up my syllabus and I would go through and I would find whatever was happening this month. Let's say the month was September. I would go in and for every week of the month, I would put in exactly what I needed to do under the monthly course assignment. So as I did that here, okay? So that's what I would do at the beginning of the month. This is no different than what I show you inside of the study school productivity lesson. The only difference is you saw me doing it in Word there. We're just doing it inside of Trello here. The only thing that changes is the application, okay? The process itself, the strategy, the steps do not change. The only thing that changes is if you're doing it on paper, then you're going to be using the college productivity kit templates that we gave you. If you're doing it in Google, then you're going to be using Google and Google Tasks. If you're doing it in Trello, you're going to be using this board. But the process, the steps are the same. At the beginning of the month, you look at your syllabus, you see what's coming up, you plan for the week, what needs to get done during week 1, what needs to get done during week 2, what needs to get done during week 3, 4, 5, etc. for that month in that class, okay? So that's what I would do at the beginning of the month. So then at the beginning of the week, what I would do, so when I sit down either Sunday night or Monday night to do my weekly planning, I would come into my monthly course assignment list. I would find the corresponding week and everything that I needed to do for that week, and I would turn the to-do list or the checklist for that week each into a card. So I would come to the checklist. Okay, I need to read and write notes for pages 1 through 46. I'm going to convert that to a card. And then I also need to do the assignment prep for the quiz 2.01 through 2.04. I'm going to convert that to a card. And what you'll see is that those checklists now became individual cards. So I'm going to drag these cards onto this week, because this is what I need to get done this week in order to make sure that I'm prepared for that quiz at the end of the week. And I would go through and repeat that process for every single class that I have for the corresponding week, okay? Then let's say Monday rolls around and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm looking at when I have decided that I'm going to do schoolwork. And what I will do is I will see, okay, what can I get done today? So it's Monday. I have about 2 hours that I'm dedicating to studying for my philosophy class. So I think that in 2 hours, I can get through these 46 pages of reading and take notes on it. So I move that on the day to the today column. And that's what I would focus on. So when 10 o'clock rolls around, when I'm supposed to be sitting down to get through the reading, I do the reading, I take my notes, and then when I'm done with it, I move it over to the complete list. So then at the end of the week, this is going to be super filled up with everything that you got accomplished. You'll be able to see it. That's going to reinforce to your brain that you're getting things done. You're going to feel really good about yourself. And then what you can do is at the end of every week, you can go ahead and just archive all the cards on that list, and you start fresh for the week. So again, the next thing that you would do, let's say it's the second week of March, I'd come in here, I'd go in, I would turn all of these into a card. Okay, I would move them over to, this is what I need to get done this week for this class. And of course, you can color coordinate them so that you know, this is for philosophy, that you know that. Okay. so that when you have all the things on this week for your other classes, you can differentiate. Okay, this is for philosophy, this is for bio, etc. So you move everything over to this week, and then on the day that you're going to work on it, you move it over to the day tab, the today, and then when you're done with it, you move it over to complete. And at the end of the week, when you're doing your end of week review, when you're taking a look at everything that you got done, everything that still needs to be done, you archive all the cards in that list. So you start fresh. Okay. When you are 5 to 7 days out for the exam, you can do the same thing. Okay. You can come in here, turn your to-dos to prepare for the exam into cards. Move it over to the this week. And then when you plan on making those copies on that day, you move it over to the today. When it gets done, again, you move it over to the complete and done. Same thing with the projects and assignments. So that's the workflow for this Trello study plan template. It's following all the principles and everything that you're learning inside of study school. It's just we're doing it inside of Trello instead of on paper, pen, or in Google. If you have any questions on this setup or anything like that, just make sure that you bring it to study hall hours or that you submit it into the Ask a Coach forum. And if you're wanting the actual Trello template that I use in this video explanation, just look down below because there'll be a place for you to download the Trello template for free, and you can plug it into your own Trello system and start using it to stay organized this semester. Now, I know Trello isn't going to be for everyone, so if you are an analog paper type of person and you want to see how I set this system up with a paper system, I do have a video all about how to get organized that I filmed maybe a year or so ago that you can watch down below. The link to that video will be in the description box, just like any other video that'll help you get organized for not only online classes, but just any type of class in general. And if you are a busy working college student who wants to earn A's all semester long without cramming every single weekend so that you actually can have a life alongside college without sacrificing your grades, make sure that you sign up for my free workshop, which is titled How to Get A's All Semester Long Without Cramming Every Single Semester. The link for that free workshop is also in the description box, and I'll walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes that you're probably making as a student and what to do instead in order to start turning your grades around. And I'm also going to walk you through my straight A study method that will teach you how to build a 2-hour study routine that gets you A's and B's without sacrificing your social life in the process. That is going to conclude this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.